Okay, so thank you for all giving me the opportunity to speak. I just want to start off with, I knew a student who I was growing up with who went to school like everyone else when it was his time, and he had a rough home situation. He didn't have necessarily the best learning environment at home. He didn't necessarily have the most support from his family, but he found school to be his own getaway from life at home. But the only problem with our school was there was no school nurses, there was no counselors to help support him. The physical education department or classes were basically non-existent, and our cafeteria had we didn't even have a cafeteria, so there was no school services, so the only way he got lunch was from what he made at home by himself. And I ended up talking to this kid after I left the grade school in 8th grade, because it went K through 8, and after he graduated, after I graduated, he was there 2 more years, and he ended up dropping out, and I hadn't heard from him since. Now, that's an extreme case, maybe, but I feel that if there was a coordinated school health education system in place in that school, that the whole situation could have possibly been avoided. And talking about the coordinated school health education program, there's 8 areas that include comprehensive school health education, school health services, healthy and safe school environment, physical education, nutritional services, counseling, psychological and social services, and health promotion for staff and community involvement. Now, the first section of that includes the comprehensive school health education. That many teachers and even people in general think that health is sometimes just like a physical thing that we can see. Are they healthy? Are they eating right? Are they physically active? But it's more than that. There's emotional health. There's social health. There's other aspects that I feel that we are lacking in teaching and showing our students that there's other things besides just pressing the physical education aspect. In fact, one of the largest problems regarding health education is there's currently, in the past year, been 1 million pregnancies each year in the United States and 3 million STDs. And that's one of the specific issues that we've been facing as a nation, which leads into the second area of the coordinated school health education, which is the school health services. Like I mentioned, we didn't have a nurse in my old school. Well, here, we don't have a nurse either. And in fact, over half the schools in the nation don't have any sort of nurse or even a trainer for that matter. Well, the trainer there's more than over half, but nurse specifically, there's only less than half of that in our entire high schools, middle schools, and schooling districts around the U.S. And in fact, this pregnancy problem is becoming such a huge issue to our nation that they're actually coming up with shows called 16 and Pregnant. And here's a group of 2 kids that were on that show, and they've been running this show for over 5 seasons, and it's almost kind of a sad thing in a way, because they've made this show for seasons off of a problem we have in America, and it's something that I feel like if we had a nurse, we might not be able to. You can teach things in school like, abstinence and that, but it's also nice to have a nurse there that can help potentially get rid of these STDs and have safe practices of sex, and help kids. Have kids understand like there's ways that if they are going to do it and we can't stop them, at least we can try and avoid pregnancies and unwanted STDs. The next section is a healthy, safe, and school environment. We're pretty safe here. We haven't had a lot of violence, but there's little things that could be done, such as light bulbs. Like some of our classrooms are pretty dim, and it's not conducive to a great learning environment, and they can be easily changed just by changing the bulbs that would become like a halogen bulb or something that would be brighter, that would help our students learn better. The next section, physical education. We have great teachers in great spots here, and they're teaching the right lessons, but the main issue I see with us is that we don't have enough time as physical educators to help these students get the physical activity they need, because so much time is spent showering or getting dressed up and then getting or dressed back into their non-workout clothes, and by the time we actually get them out there and doing stuff, they're not getting like, yeah, we may set aside like an hour and they're getting their daily recommended, but they're really only getting like maybe 30 minutes of that for actual activity time. Next on the list is nutritional services, and I also will combine it with another section, the counseling and psychological and social services. We have a great cafeteria here that provides healthy options and a multitude of them, and we also have some great counseling them to the areas they need to be, such as social services if they suspect other problems. So that's one of our strong suits here that I am very proud of. Also, on the next section though, while we're really good at that, two other sections we struggle in is health promotion among staff and our community involvement. We don't really promote it along our staffs, and I believe that it's important to lead as a group, like have someone for the students. We can't just ask our students to do. So simple things such as like trying to get the community involved as well through like a race, like a 5K, or maybe even like some basketball tournaments where there's like facility and staff involved with the community, so we can get our health up, and even with doing those through the community, we can increase our relationships with the community around us and family members of the students as a whole. So in conclusion, I would like to implement the coordinated health education system, which includes the 8 parts of comprehensive school health education, the school health services, the healthy and safe school environment, physical education, nutritional services and counseling, psychological and social services, the health promotion for the staff, and the community involvement. Because I believe if we implement such a system and try and stick to it, situations like my best friend Jake won't occur as often.
Thank you.